Okay, well, it looks like I just jumped right into it. Forgot to go ahead and do my intro screen, which is fine. So sorry about that, folks. Usually we're a little bit more on the ball here, but I was kind of rushing through and trying to get let people know that we were actually doing something this evening. And so here we are. Welcome again to the Mystic Syndicate and our Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition homebrew campaign, Ambassadors to the Barbarian Kings. So, and this is episode 23. Pretty good. Not
Holy
too
crap.
shabby. I know,
That
right?
far?
What's that?
I can't believe we're that far along.
I know, right? It's kind of cool that we've been able to make it this far, and even though I have seen some streams that were well past their hundreds and stuff like that, but I think we're doing pretty good so far.
To be honest, I thought you were exaggerating when you said that you had like 2-year campaigns running, but I can see it now.
You figured it out, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a heads up.
What's up?
Your roll 20 is not showing, and it says sound alerts is not working.
Oh, sound alerts I'm not worried about. So, but let's go ahead and make sure that we are back to our roll 20. Sorry about that, folks. So, yeah, I'm not worried about sound alerts on this one because usually it probably wouldn't fit in right with the actual game itself. If we were playing Phasmophobia, I would definitely have those things on because that would definitely work. And
Scare the crap out of people.
yeah, that's right. That's kind of fun. What happened? Did my camera die?
Wait, no.
What happened to my
I
camera?
did.
You died.
What did I do?
I don't know. We're just having all types of fun here tonight. So,
What the hell?
there we go. Are you back? All right.
I don't know. Just decided to, never mind. Don't want to show you his face.
And that's okay. That's all right. It happens. It's not a biggie. Everything's pretty sweet. I think we're good to go here. But yeah, so welcome back to the Ambassadors to the Barbarian Kings Homebrew Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition campaign. I am your Dungeon Master, Brian, and as always, joining with me this evening are our intrepid adventurers. You guys want to say a howdy?
Howdy.
Hi.
Howdy.
Okay, so yeah, we have Shane here who is playing Apton, our Mousefolk cleric, and Athena, who is our shifter fighter. I'm sorry, tank, yeah, and tank. And so these are our two players who are with us this evening. Our buddy Armos, played by Ricky, is off doing his military duty. Hopefully he will be, maybe he'll join us in chat later. Who knows what might actually happen. But we want to thank you all for dropping by and checking us out this evening. This is episode 23. We would like to give a real quick thanks to Anna B. Meyer for the beautiful map that we have in the center of our screen here. As you can see, this thing is quite extensive, and she has put this together, and you all can actually access it on the internet at annabmeyer.com. So make sure to go over and check her out and see what Anna is working on. She does have her own Twitch stream, and she is every once in a while putting new and exciting things out. So do not forget to go over and see what Anna is doing. Do you guys have anything you'd like to add this evening? Anything cool? Any news? Anything interesting? Or are you guys ready to jump into it?
Ready to jump into it?
Ready to jump into it. All right. Would anyone like to give a recap of last week's fun?
We fought a bush. I made a zombie. I had to beat the shit out of the zombie to kill it.
Because the elves didn't like it.
Yeah. And then we caught a ride with some Elvish folk on our way to name of a town that I can't remember.
Name of a town you couldn't remember?
And we're kind of prisoners, but not really. But like secretly, wink, wink. I think we're prisoners.
You think you're prisoners. Okay. Yeah, that was kind of the feeling that you had when you were picked up.
They were helping us, but we didn't have much of a choice. So.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. It didn't seem like you had a lot of options, and that is totally true. But you were not placed in chains or anything like that, so that's kind of nice. Yeah, so to fill in the little bit of gaps...
they'd probably die if they tried putting us in chains, because that would involve them touching him, and that doesn't work very well.
No pet me.
Right. So, so you all had actually camped on the bridge and were picked up by a patrol of rangers that...
Airborne or?
No, just your regular forest rangers.
But they were Elven.
They were Elven forest rangers, yes. For those folks who need a little bit of a heads up, they are in the Vesve Forest, and they were actually picked up right around here last week by those Elven Rangers, and they are on their way to the city of Amarillo.
They didn't seem to like that we camped on their bridge.
Yes, they were a little perturbed that you had actually decided to set up camp in the middle of a thoroughfare. So, that being said...
Safe.
I'll get over it.
Yeah, so you all are being led through the darkness. Being that they're elves, they have excellent vision, dark vision, or low light vision, and you are being led. Of course, you're on your on your horses, and are being led to the actual city. It takes a little while to get there, and by the time you finally do get there, the darkness that was created by this canopy, this forested canopy, is you start to see that there are some breaks in it, and you can actually see that there is light coming through that canopy, and before you stands a gigantic wall, and this wall is made of a combination of stone, but also made of wood, but the wood is living. It's not like it's chopped wood or lumber. It is actually the trees have actually been a part, or have taken part in the creation of this beautiful 20-foot high wall. And beyond that wall, you can actually now see the light shining down onto a gigantic oak tree. And this oak tree is, from your vantage point, you can see that there are ladders and walkways that crisscross to it from other trees in this area. It is a gigantic forest city, and everything is actually in the
tree houses,
in the trees. Which, I mean, it's just incredible, the scene which is before you, for you've never seen anything actually quite like it. But you can tell this elvish architecture it's old, but it looks as though everything is alive, and it's absolutely beautiful. The rangers deposit you at this gate, and there is an elven female there named Ariel, and she is wearing very similar attire to the rangers who picked you up, but she has an actual like a gold badge on her left breast. And of course, unfortunately, neither of you speak or read Elvish. And so you hear the ranger who picked you up speaking with this woman. And you were able to kind of pick out what her name was, Ariel. And it seems as though you're being turned over to her.
All right.
Yeah, she turns, once she is done with Carrie-Anne, that was the ranger who had kind of arrested you. She looks and greets you in common and says, "And welcome to Amariel. I am the captain of the guard, Ariel. Will you please escort me, or come with me, and I shall escort you to the castle proper."
We agree full-heartedly, knowing that we are now not in danger of the forest.
Right. So the gate opens. This tree metal amalgamation, which is this gate, swings open, and before you is just this absolutely beautiful scene. And being that it is still sort of dark here, with with certain beams of light shooting through the canopy above, it just really gives this surreal look to it. And every once in a while, you'll see fireflies sort of darting around, lighting, and it just adds more to the magic of this forested city. She doesn't really say much to you, but she does continue to take you towards this large oak tree. You finally reach the large tree, and she steps upon this wooden platform that has these ropes hanging from it, and she beckons you to follow her onto it. And as soon as she does, she rings a set of bells, which are next, and you can hear above the sound of wheels turning. And as these wheels turn, the platform that you're on starts to rise into the air. And it goes up and up and up. And to a point where you actually believe that you have entered the canopy of the forest itself, where you come to a wooden landing. You step off this wooden landing, realizing that it's not something that was actually built. This is something that was created from the tree itself. It's just absolutely miraculous. And as you step off, you can see in front of you these two massive living wooden doors. And standing next to them are two elven guards, each bearing long swords. They give a quick nod to Ariel, and she proceeds to walk to those large wooden doors. And you all follow behind her. The guards move, and she throws these doors open. And before you is this beautiful circular hall. And not what I mean like a hall as in like a long, it's an actual like a gigantic room that is taking place inside this just massive oak. Just wood on it. The walls are of course made of the living wood. And sitting at the far end away from the door is a elvish woman who is wearing a dark green gossamer gown. On top of her head rests a simple but ornately decorated crown. You see that there are other people here in this room. Elves. There are every once in a while you'll see fae folk, fairies, things of that nature that sort of traveling around. Above you are crystals that are lit, and what you believe is magically lit, which casts light over this entire scene which is before you. And as you all make your way in, you kind of feel out of place because you do not see anyone else that is not of. If you're not elves, you're really not even Sylvan in any way, shape, or form. So you have a feeling of displacement. And the room goes quiet as you are escorted in. And those folks who were in this room part and allow you to actually make your way into the center of this gigantic circular hall. Ariel approaches the woman who is sitting at the throne at the end of the room, and you hear them once again speaking in Elvish. And Ariel sort of takes a step off to the side as this woman stands and descends away from the raised throne and comes to probably about within 20 feet of you, which, as you well know, is proper. You all had done this when you were in court in Chindle in Ferriondi. You realize that this is probably very close to the same ceremonial way that you should actually deal with. So what are you going to do as she comes to a stop?
You're supposed to bow.
So what are you all doing?
Are you?
I will bow before them and wait for them to address us.
Right, very good. So
Courtesy as best I can.
in your metal armor. So she looks you over as you rise, keeping your eyes kind of down. Because she is a very tall woman, long black hair and kind of flashing green eyes, and the room starts to buzz a little bit. You start to hear people start to chatter. And she, keeping her distance at where she is at, with Ariel at her side, she says, "Oh, good evening. And who might you be who camps upon my roads and in my forest?"
I am Sir Cleric Apton, and this is my companion, Lady Athena. We are emissaries for the King of Ferriondi, and we are traveling through your lands and attempting to make our way to Amariel.
Well, lucky for you, you have found Amariel.
Or more along the lines, Amariel has found us.
Ah, yes, maybe so. And she says, "So, and what is it that you bring to us here in Amariel?"
I pull out the documents that I have.
She
motions
motions the captain of the guard to relieve you of them, and she walks over and very gently. It's not like she's rude or anything. You hand them to Ariel, and she brings them back to the queen. The queen quickly just leafs through them and looks over them, and she is like, "Ah, this is wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. But I'm kind of puzzled. Why would they send 2 ambassadors from Greyhawk when they have their own ambassadorial staff? What is your true intentions here in Amariel?"
Well, among delivering these messages, I also wanted to inform you that there is a dire threat to the north beyond the Barbarian Kings. I believe that there is a mischievous magical presence that is causing great issue for much of the land south.
She looks and says, well, yes, we are, of course, quite aware of the problems with the barbarians, but what is it that you're saying? Are you saying that somehow they have been co-opted or corrupted in some magical way?
There have been far too many storms that seem to be of magical means, not common. And I don't know if they have affected you at all, but I can tell you we have had many gargoyles. We've had exploding golems, crystal golems, wreak havoc. We've fought giant squid. We've run into a mind flare. There's far too many magical coincidences for anything to not be happening by a higher power, or a stronger power, I should say.
Very interesting. She says, so you believe that then somehow there is some arcane power which has maybe brought the barbarians under its power or sway. It's very interesting. It's very interesting that you should bring something like that up. So, you bring us this news, and we're thankful for it, but I'm not really too sure where is it that you must go next.
That makes two of us, because I don't know.
3.
Well, if you look right here on the document, it should say where we're directly heading.
Okay, to remind you, and to also remind that to let our folks know that you all are actually
remind the viewers.
Yes, yeah, our lovely viewers and our chat participants. Our adventurers are actually on their way to see the Velvet Queen in the Velvet Empire, which is to the north of the Vesve Forest. She is an actual dragon who has taken on and has permanently taken on the outward appearance of an elven woman. This is not that place. This is Amarillo in the Vesve. You have so much further to go.
But I thought we were keeping that secret too.
Christie's under the impression we were supposed to be keeping that a secret. I don't know if you're muted. I didn't hear you.
That would be completely up to you.
No, but shouldn't we, not tell somebody that we were going?
We told well, that's because I also didn't remember last time and I forgot to go back and look. We didn't tell the guy who was bringing us here. So I will tell her that we are also heading to see the Velvet Queen.
She says, and so it is the Velvet Queen that you seek. I see. You see the captain of the guard sort of lean in quickly, and you hear them conversing again in Elvish. And the queen looks up and sort of cocks an eyebrow up, and she's like, now I understand. You are trying to find access. And is it that you are to actually go and speak to the kings themselves? That's what it sounds like to me. Am I right? And you see she moves her hand like so, and as she does, there's it's like a fairy dust effect. And you had this overwhelming... I need you both to make will saves right now.
Is it against being frightened, or...
Nope.
Will save?
Will save is wisdom.
Wisdom, yep. Okay, Apton, you actually are able to resist this. But Athena, you are completely compelled to tell the truth.
I have absolutely no idea.
Right. But yeah, Apton, you're actually able to fight it, but you can actually feel as though she is able to, in some way, get that information from you, but you are able to resist. And she just continues her even gaze, not getting upset or anything like that.
Can I do an insight check to see if I can tell if she's like jealous that she wasn't included in this, or
Okay.
So she wants to know if we're gonna go see kings instead of the queen.
well, rulers? I don't
Right.
think he was. Oh, I can't tell shit.
No, you're not really too sure what, or if anything, or if she's upset about that or not. You're just kind of. It seemed that she was a little bit caught off guard that you were not just going to see the queen, the Velvet Queen, just her alone.
Oh,
That
I
you,
will. I will tell her. I do believe that we are sent as emissaries to be trying to unite everybody against the threats before us. Whether or not that is the entirety of what's going on, I cannot tell you, for I am just an emissary.
and our head person died.
she is. You see her kind of like, really? And so you've actually
Really?
you've came so far. I'm very, very impressed with your ability to have withstood so much adversity and made it this far.
I will
Ah.
hold my hands out and go, as a mouse folk, I have dealt with many adversities.
She sort of gives a slight smile. She says, well, I thank you very much for the information that you have given me. And from what it looks as though, in some of the paperwork in the back, it looks as though you were to meet maybe one or two guides to take you actually to the Velvet Queen. Is this something that you knew of, or is this new to you?
Well, I wasn't aware of any guides other than the ones that we had that were eaten upon the road to your beautiful, beautiful tree. Though they were more teamsters than guides and more cannon fodder than anything. But no, I was not aware of any guides.
Yes. It says right here, and she produces the paper and she hands it to Ariel and she brings it over, and it looks as though once you reach, and I'll show you on the map. Let me zoom out here a little bit because you got to go here to the Velvet Empire.
Holy
That's
crap.
a long way.
Yeah. And so you're going to travel through the Vesve Forest, and once you reach Golden Hand, which is right here, I'll bring that over to the center, you are to be met with by two guides who are going to actually take you into the Velvet Empire. So there you have it.
I will look at her and go, well, I guess I would have found out about these guides once we got to Galdahan. Galdahan?
Well, the thing is, though, you're not really too sure how to proceed from there. Though you have lost you've lost your drivers to your cart. You've actually lost your carriage, and so
we have our
now
horses.
you have two horses,
And there's two of us.
and there's two of you. So,
Maybe we can trade them into riding horses.
yeah, because those are draft horses that you have right now. So the queen looks and says, well, I welcome you, ambassadors from Greyhawk, and thank you very much for this information that you have given me and the information that you have provided to me. And she just gives kind of a sort of a wry smile at that. like you feel that you may have given away something, or maybe it's just a feeling. She makes you uneasy, and it may just be because of her height or her eyes or something. There's
She's
just
an elf.
something. Yeah, she's an elf, and so she just makes you feel that you have to be on your guard.
I will say to her, it is not much of an offering, but it is something of my home, and I would like to present to you the cask of ale that was brought with us as a gift from the mouse folk.
She is pleasantly surprised. She's like, "Oh, I did not realize that there would be bringing of gifts."
I have found that entering another person's presence of your stature without a gift is a very bad sign of faith.
She smiles at that, and you kind of feel that it's a genuine smile. It actually kind of puts you a little bit more at ease. Still, though, it's you have this feeling that it's just that you really have to kind of keep an eye on her. Now, her captain of the guard seems very genuine and actually friendly. Where the queen is kind of guarded and also maybe a little suspicious of you. She signals to the captain of the guard, who signals to you that your meeting is now over. And so the queen actually heads back to to her throne. Ariel sort of takes you and sort of moves you over to one side of the room, and she says, "I hope that was exactly what you were waiting and hoping for. I'm sorry if it seemed a little strained."
I will touch my head and say, well, it's still attached, so it went as well as anybody could hope.
Yeah, she gives you a smile, an actual genuine smile, and she's Queen Zan has she's a new queen. She hasn't been on the throne long, so she has to be this way. Her husband is away, actually helping with the defense of Furiondi, where he is from originally, and so she's kind of left here and left to her own devices. So please excuse our fair queen for her for what you may have implied as coldness or a feeling of suspicion. She says, well, I noticed that you have your horses with you, and so we can find stabling for them for the night for you. There is an inn if you would like to stay here. It is getting late, and to venture back into the forest again on your own may not be a good idea.
Yeah, I feel the same way. We've had our fun for that one trip. Do you think we would be able to barter with somebody for either a carriage or for the draft horses we have, or maybe exchange with some added monies to get some actual riding horses?
She says, "I'm sure that we can find some way to accommodate you." She said, "Follow me." And so she takes you back out and takes you down through the elevator once again down to the bottom floor, to the forest floor below. And you can actually see it's not just all just a giant tree facility. There are actual ground level buildings, but a lot of these buildings are they're not made from living wood. They're actually made from chopped lumber and things of that nature. And she brings you over to a stable where your horses have actually already been tied up. And she talks in Elvish to a gentleman there, older elven man. And she comes back and she says, well, he said he really was very interested in your horses and would like to see if it would be possible to trade them out for light riding. He will actually throw in the bit, bridle, and saddles for them, because these are very good cart horses, and he would it would be a great it would be a good trade on his part, and it would actually help you guys, because he's throwing in the actual other items.
Things we need to ride.
Right.
Without falling off the other side.
Exactly. Yeah, because didn't you do that last time?
Yes.
Yeah, you failed that roll. Alrighty, so she goes back over and talks with him a little bit more, and they definitely agree. And she comes back and lets you know that if that is what you would wish, then he'll make sure that the next day you will have those riding horses and all of the items that were mentioned.
Fantastic. Now, not to seem ungracious to your hospitality, but are we expected to leave first thing tomorrow? Because being on the road and heading forward with as far as we have to travel may be in our best interests.
She says you can leave at any time you wish, but most likely your horses are not going to be ready until tomorrow morning.
Okay. Well then, hopefully we will be on our way and out of your trees before tomorrow afternoon.
She says, well, that's very good. There are lodgings here at the inn. You may want to check those out as well. And she motions over to a building which is standing not too far away from the stable area that you're in. And you notice swinging from there's a sort of a hanging sign saying it's the Golden Hippogriff Inn.
I thought you were going to say the Golden Hippo.
No. You can actually, from your vantage point, you can see that there are other patrons who are inside, and you can hear music being played, and yeah, it looks quite inviting.
Oh. We will make our way over there and hopefully find some lodgings and a nice little meal to settle our empty stomachs.
Yeah, because it's been a while since you've actually probably partaken. So you head on over and you walk in, and most of the clientele here is Elvish, but you do notice that at one person, a giant, a kind of a giant of a man, is actually sitting on the opposite side, opposite the door, and he doesn't really pay much attention to what is actually going on. He seems to be eating just a large piece of meat. You're not really too sure what it is. You haven't gotten close enough to look. But as you walk through the door, an elven gentleman wearing a apron and a cap, cloth cap, says, "Good evening, and welcome to the Golden Hippogriff. And are you looking for a seating this evening? Some food, maybe?"
Food and lodging would be great, and I will eyeball the large man. Is it a human, or can I tell what race it is?
You were kind of thinking that this fellow may be sort of a mixture of human and Goliath.
Well,
He's a
I thought it
monster
was
of
going
a
to be
guy.
Gorthal.
No.
I was thinking that too.
Oh, that would have been cool.
Yeah, I was like, oh, am I going to have my half-orc buddy back? No.
Sorry. So, you, he says, of course. Here, let me show you to a seat. And so you're looking for 2 rooms for the night?
I think if we can manage just 1 room.
He looks and says, that is fine, sir. That is fine. And that is no problem at all. That will be 5 silver for each of you to cover the room.
Okay. I will hand him the 10 silver.
Okay. He pockets it and he takes you over to the seats that he's mentioned. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the Roll20 map so you can get an idea of what you're doing.
He's going to blow it up.
I'm not going to blow it up.
This looks awfully familiar.
Does.
So, yeah. Okay, so the layout might be very similar, but at least you know that it's not... You don't see any crystalline golem bombs walking around. That's kind of important, right?
Well, the bomb wasn't walking around when we sat down. He came in later.
That is true.
See what happens when you traumatize us? See what happens?
Right. Yeah, so you can...
anything
yeah, so you can actually see over here is the Goliath fella sitting over there. Okay. And they have this very nice elven gentleman has seated you over here. Athena, you are right there, and Apton, you are over here, so that you can see both the door and also watch this very strange and peculiar person.
Is there a reason I can't sit on the side next to Apton?
You can if you would like.
Yeah, that way I can see the door too.
That's not a problem. All right. So, you all
She just wants to sit next to me.
It's next to the other side. I just want to be able to see the door.
Yeah.
If something comes in hooded, I'm jumping.
Right. Yeah.
Table.
You guys are a little bit tavern shy now. After I blew up the last one, I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, Athena, I would like for you to make a perception check.
See, this is how it all started.
This is how it all started.
Oh, and that's how it all ended.
Yeah, that was a natural 1.
That's exactly how it started. We didn't see the thing walking in.
Right. So you were sitting there more preoccupied at this moment at the menu, waiting and just to see exactly, because you all are actually quite hungry, and a few moments later, the man in the apron walks back over and talks to you a little bit about what is on the menu and if there's anything specific or special you all would like. He, of course, is open to special orders. And once he is about ready to wrap up his spiel, you hear a crash come from that table over there, and you actually see that the giant of a man has smashed his flagon of mead on the table, and he roars out in common, "More! More!" Make another perception check, Athena.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Don't roll a 1. For the love of God. Okay. At the sound of this person, you have a flashback.
Oh no.
Yeah. And it is a significantly... and at first you're not really too sure where you've heard this voice before. And you keep searching your mind. You've now actually drop the menu back to the table, and you're just searching your brain. Where have I heard this? Was it on the ship? Was it on where? And it's actually distracting to you. You cannot stop, and you're right now. I need you to make a will save to check to see if you can actually pull yourself away from staring at this guy. Okay, you realize that you're staring, and you kind of look away quickly, but as you do, you see he actually meets your gaze, and as soon as you see it, you remember where you saw this before. It was many, many, many years ago on that fateful night that your village and your family was killed. This was one of the creatures that actually stormed into your home, slayed your family, and just by luck alone, you were able to escape. And you can actually feel your hackles of your shifter self start to bristle, and the anger is just so intense. Apton, I need you to roll a perception to see if you can detect this in Athena, and yeah, see what. Okay, you realize something's up. You realize something terrible is up, and you look right at Athena, and you can see that she's not well. There's something wrong. You can't put your finger on it. What are you going to do?
Are you hungry? Like raw meat, kind of? Well, that's a strange request. Are you a vampire now?
No.
Do you want to explain your feelings? Do you want to work through them? Words?
He needs to die.
Is
Killed
it-
my family. Killed everyone. He needs to die.
Well, that's... You're 100% sure on who it is?
Yes.
Well, we could either go to the guards.
I want to know if he's staying here tonight.
That is probably going to be a line of questioning you're going to have to ask someone else, because you're not really too sure.
I know. Is there anybody walking around that would that?
Well, a couple of minutes pass, and the elven gentleman who was the waiter is now back over to take your order, and he looks at you, and he is a little bit distressed by your look, because you've kind of lost a little bit of your composure, and your more feral side has kind of presented itself. And at first he's kind of taken back, but then he looks at Apton, and Apton seems to be, well, maybe not as concerned. He definitely sees that Apton is trying to control the situation, and he says, "So, sir, madam, what would you like this evening?"
I think we will have the most popular dish, whatever is the most common and most well-known item. And can you did you ask this person about whether or not he was staying here or no?
No, I
Okay.
thought maybe you would be better with words than me.
I will ask if if they know anything about the strange large man yelling for more ale.
He looks over his shoulder really quickly towards the giant man and says, "No, sir, I'm sorry. I've never seen him in here before. This is he definitely stands out, but he is definitely not a regular here."
I only ask because do I know that it's part Goliath or?
You look at the bone structure and facials. You're thinking mostly it's a hybrid, human Goliath hybrid.
I only ask because I don't think I've ever seen a Goliath before, and I just found it interesting to find one in the Elven lands.
Well, most likely you probably on your travels when you were coming from the forest at your homeland in the north, as you went through the barbarian lands, like the wolf clans and the tiger clans, they are kind of prevalent there. So you've actually seen them before, but you realize that
He doesn't know that.
But this you don't realize. He doesn't, but you have definitely seen them before, but this one is not as tall and not as broad of shoulder that you'd seen of regular Goliaths. So you're thinking it's a hybrid.
Sleeping here?
He says, "I'm not really too sure, but I can find out."
Please.
If you could, on a slightly discreet manner, we don't want to upset him at all or feel weird. It's just if he's being here and he's going to be loud and obnoxious, I may need to get some sort of ear protection for when I'm sleeping.
He says, "I assure you, sir, if there is any problems here, if a guest becomes unruly, we will make sure to alert the guard and they will be taken from the establishment post haste." So he takes your order and continues to walk on back. So he is still sitting there. They have refilled his mead flagon and he is continuing to drink as he's sitting across from this other gentleman here, a regular human with slight elvish features, so you're thinking half elf, is talking with him under his you of course you can't hear anything, but every once in a while you hear a guttural burping noise from the giant, and you see him wipe his mouth with his long sleeves.
Elves are usually really refined people, aren't they?
Yes, very much so.
So his actions are very kind of like blah.
Out of place, completely out of place. But they also realize that this person is probably more of a barbarian than anything.
I'm wondering if I want to start shit, and I'm thinking about doing it, but making him the aggressor.
Ooh.
As long as we kill him.
Oh, do I want to start? Hey, Brian, roll a D100. Above 50, I start shit. Below, 51 and above, I start shit. 50 and below, I don't.
Okay.
I'll leave it up to you.
You're going to leave it up to me? I am surprised. Okay, so we're doing a D100?
Mm-hmm.
So it's what were your stipulations?
51 and above, I start shit. 50 and below, I don't.
94.
No, looks like I'm starting shit.
Looks like Apton is starting some shit, folks. All right. So what are you planning on doing, Apton?
I'm gonna use thermalergy or whatever they call it, and make my voice 3 times. Yeah.
Okay.
And make my voice 3 times louder.
Okay.
And say, "Hey, hybrid, how about some manners?"
You hear you do this, and you fill the room with your request, and the entire room pivots. Everybody is now looking at you, including this giant, who looks sort of. He's kind of surprised, and he sniffs the air and is like he throws down his flagon of mead, and it splashes upon the table as the half-elven man actually gets up and starts making his way towards the door. You realize, and a lot of other people are also starting to make their way out. You see people are starting to scatter from this area here. You do see some are actually hanging out over here just kind of watch what's happening. But you do realize that people are turning and getting the heck out of the way as fast as they possibly can, not knowing what is going to occur. And
like watching you move all the little pieces.
What's that?
I like watching you move all the little pieces. It's like, fucking run.
Yeah. So he, this giant, stands up to his full height, and you realize that the chair that he was sitting on wasn't actually a chair. It was just a beer barrel that they had moved over so he could sit on it. And he probably stands a good, easy 7 feet tall. He is and he's almost touching the ceiling. I mean, it's just barely brushing the top of his. I mean, his hair is actually brushing the top of this ceiling, and he reaches behind him and grabs the great axe off of his. And he says, "Mouse man, come and face me." And so what are you going to do? I think we should roll initiative.
Okay.
I'm not seeing anything on my roll 20 though, so I don't really have a character to...
Maybe make this guy like really big. I think that's kind of
I don't
cool.
know if I don't know if he was actually intending us to actually start shit in the bar.
Why not?
He put a map! Why wouldn't he?
No, because he didn't share the map with us.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't share the map with you. I am terrible. Can you see it?
Mm-hmm.
I am very, very sorry. I have to apologize to my players for being so lax and forgetful. I know that the people in chat saw it, so I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. I am super sorry, guys, but here you all are over here, and this is your new giant friend, who is
a friend now.
Well,
Fucking Athena, Jesus Christ. Let's start shit. Oh, let me be fucking last.
At least this time I'm 5 foot, not 3 foot.
At least I'm up in this bitch.
Okay, so here we are,
Last time
folks.
I met him, I was probably only 2.5 to 3 feet tall. Now I'm taller.
Excuse me, sir. I'm 2 foot. Don't throw an extra foot in there. This has got to be more embarrassing for him than 3 foot.
Well,
So,
I'm just talking between him and...
so Athena, are you carrying through with your transformation, or are you just?
Are you gonna let me do that beforehand?
I will let you do that because it was actually occurring before the activity. Are you just going to let it continue its path? Because I'm going to let you do that.
Sure.
Okay, so very good. Apton, you are now standing on your chair, facing this guy who is probably about 30, almost 35 feet away from you.
I will not stand on my chair because that would be bad manners, and I just called him out on bad manners. So I'm gonna make sure I keep it on the good side. I will yell for him to not come any further because I'm afraid of his stench.
Oh, you taunted him. Oh, you taunted him a second time.
I did.
Oh my. Okay.
He's
Look,
taking.
man, if anybody should have played a bard, it should have been me. But I didn't because bards are fucking crap most of the time.
Right.
He
Except for
took
starting
some
shit.
lessons from our friend taunting spells.
Yeah. Where's that taunting app when we need it?
Right. That taunting app.
Let's see here.
That is funny.
What do I want to do? What do I want to do? I will hold my turn.
Okay. You hold your turn. Very good. So he is actually going to... I'm sorry?
Gotta get that stand your ground self-defense thing going.
Cool. All right. So he actually rushes toward you. And I need both of you to make a dexterity savings throw. Because he's going to flip the table on top of you.
Oh, joy.
Athena rolls a 6, and oh my god.
Maybe today's not the day I should have started shit.
Oh, we both.
So he runs over and literally kicks this table up and over on top of you. Wow, I was expecting at least somebody would be able to roll out of the way, but I guess that just wasn't meant to be. So actually,
That's a good point.
Actually,
Well
both of you only take 2 points of damage, being that you were able to... Most of the table landed on the chairs that you were in, and you were able to kind of tuck yourself under before the weight of the table smashed down upon you. And so now you're under this table, which is being propped up by the chairs that you were sitting in.
Ricky made a pretty interesting point there. Can Athena make a... No. Never mind. I was going to say, see if she could have countered it with a reflex athletics thing, but I'm guessing that was more of like his attack movement. So.
That was his attack. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
From all the way over there, or doesn't
Well,
he have to be close?
He rushed, and so that was what he did. So he actually came here and kicked the table. I mean, he's a really tall fella, so he kicked the table. Instead of using his axe to cleave someone in twain, he just kicked the table over and on top of you. That was his attack.
Is he within 5 feet of me?
You are under the table, and it is propped up like this. You are here. He's on the other side, so you actually cannot see him.
Well,
You could take a 5 foot step over here, like right there, and be able to look over the edge.
Well, I was
of the
wondering
table.
if I could use Wrath of the Storm when a creature within 5 feet that you can see hits you with an attack. I can make him do a dexterity savings throw or take lightning damage.
You would have to take a 5 foot step, then actually do that.
Okay. Then I will go ahead and take my turn now.
Okay.
And yeah, shut up, Ricky. How do I want to fuck with this guy?
So he's technically 15 feet away right now?
He's actually kind of on the other side of the table. If you really look at this table, it's flipped up on its edge, and it's over here. It's sitting on one side of it is leaning on those chairs, and you all are under the table.
Okay.
So do we have to go around, or can I like flip it up behind?
You can flip it up. You could try to flip it back on him if you wanted to do that.
Like so that it actually hits him?
You could do it if you want to give it a try.
Hold on, I got my thing I'm doing. So I'm gonna scroll down and go ahead and.
All you'd have to do is make an athletics check.
Let's see my athletics. I think my strength would. Oh well, my athletics is.
Oh really? So I'm gonna go ahead and take. I'm gonna try and get 5 feet closer to him. If the table's flipped up, can I move underneath it?
You can't, because of your size, you could actually close the distance within 5 feet, but you would not be able to see him if you do.
Oh, that's fine. I'm doing that.
Yeah.
And I'm going to cast Spirit Guardians.
Okay. Good.
I will cast that on there.
Okay.
And so you guys can read it. I call forth spirits to protect me. They fill around your distance 15 feet of duration. If you are good or neutral, their spectral form, or fiendish, whatever. When you cast, designate any number of creatures you can see to be unaffected by it. So I choose Athena, and everybody I can see that's anywhere near us, other than the Goliath hybrid.
Okay.
Which looks like nobody is, thankfully.
So if he starts his turn, hold on. I need to zoom in. An effective creature, his speed is halved. If he moves into the area or starts his turn there, he must make a Wisdom savings throw. On a failed save, he takes 3d8 radiant damage, or 3d8 necrotic damage, if you're evil or neutral. Well, so it's going to be 3d8 radiant damage. So he needs to make a Wisdom savings throw.
Okay. What's my target?
16.
Okay. He failed it pretty miserably.
Oh, sweet. So I will go ahead and do this.
Okay, so he ends up taking 16 points of damage?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Very good.
And I will say to him, trying to think of how I'm going to say this.
Are you going to taunt him a third time?
Sort of. These are the spirits of the innocent blood you have shed. Feel their wrath.
Well, see, you would not actually know that because she did not, and did she not? I don't think she told you, did she?
I thought I said he killed my family. Did I not say he killed my family?
Then you did, yes. Okay. So that's very good. So you say these things, and you hear him roar out in pain at being struck, but as he roars out, it turns to just like a roaring laughter, and this laughter is just infuriating to you, Athena. What are you going to do?
Oh, I know. I'm gonna throw that table at him.
You chuck that table out?
Well, I had to cut out a few words there before I said them. I'm gonna throw the table at him.
Okay. So go ahead and
see if it works.
Holy crap! Okay, so sort of like when the Hulk, like. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry. She turns in, just goes full into her feral form, and she throws this thing back at him. And you can roll. Let's see. Let's roll some damage for that table. Let's see. Roll a d8. Wow. Okay. So he actually kind of throws his arm and his axe up. But he does take 2 more points of damage, and now you all can actually see him and he can see you, but there is still a table between you. It is now sort of like a barrier between you two. So
it didn't break in half. It was supposed to break in half.
That's really good. Let's check. We'll get. I'm gonna let you, because you rolled so well. A 25 is pretty extreme. So I'm going to say that there was at least a 75% chance that this table shattered. So let's go ahead and run that just to see. So if we have anything from 1 to 75, that table is actually going to shatter. 76. Can you freaking believe it? I know. So it doesn't actually shatter, but it was a good attempt. And so now you have this table between him and you. Apton, if you were trying to attack over the table because it's laying on its side, you would actually be unable to hit him with a melee attack. Athena, you have no problem doing so.
I can hit him with the melee now?
Well, no, you took your attack.
You
threw the table. So.
I've got another attack.
Then go for it.
Also, Spirit Guardians lasts for up to 10 minutes. So.
Okay.
Do I need to get closer to him, or?
Let's actually have you guys like sort of move into range here.
Right,
okay, so Athena.
Yep.
So Athena, it's your turn.
Pull out my sword.
Okay.
Does that work?
Unfortunately, that will not hit.
All right. Well then.
Okay.
That one work.
No.
What?
No, that one won't work either.
Here comes the mouse carrying 6 foot pile of fucking weight on his back.
So, Apton, it is your turn.
Okay. So, this table is flipped upwards to where the legs are towards me?
Yes.
And about how wide is the table? Probably like 4 feet?
So
it's 4 feet tall, or?
Yeah, it's about 4 feet tall, and it's one of those long. It's a long table, so it's about 4 feet tall and about 6.5 or 7 feet long. It's a long table.
Mm-hmm. See this person? You point to one target you can see. Yes, I do. So many spells, so useless. No, that's overkill. I'm not doing that.
Touch him. Kill him.
Stop trying to encourage me to touch people, you freak. So is there any way I could get visual of him and still cast a spell?
If you you would actually have to move around the table, which would be a 5-foot step. That would actually put you right about here, and you would be able to see him on the other side of the table.
Okay. Then I will do that.
Okay.
And I will say... Don't look at me like that. I'm trying to think of how to word this so it sounds cool.
It's going to sound cool, folks.
Fight somebody worthy... No. You're barely worth my time. You're 7 foot tall of uselessness. And I will cast Toll the Dead on him.
Okay. And
he has to make a Wisdom 16 savings throw.
Okay. And he did not do well.
Alright, so he will do 2d12 points of damage.
Okay. And remember to also do your Spirit Guardians afterwards.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's when he starts in his turn, so...
Oh, okay.
On his turn, it'll start.
Okay.
Alright, so... Now it's his turn.
Okay, so he took 11 points of damage?
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. All right. Again, he roars out in pain as he is struck by your Toll the Dead spell. Okay, so it is his turn. So I guess we are starting with the Spirit Guardians.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Wisdom savings throw 16.
Wisdom savings throw. He's not really good at wisdom, as you.
I would hope so, since you said he was like a barbarian.
Yeah, he did not do well.
Okay, so another roll of that. Another 15.
Nice. All right. Yeah, you can definitely see that he is taking some damage, and he is definitely enraged at this point in time, and he is going to attack at you, Athena, with his great axe.
Even with all my freaking taunting, bitch.
Yeah, he is in crazy rage mode. So here we go. It's a 22 with a great axe, doing 9 points of slashing damage.
I'm gonna hit you. You take 9.
Yep, you take 9 points of damage. Okay.
My turn.
It is your turn.
Try this.
13. Unfortunately, that will not hit.
Then I'm going to use a superiority die.
Which allows her to increase her chance to hit.
Alright. D8. That. Here. Oh.
So that adds plus 2 to that?
Yeah.
Yep, you will just hit.
Alright. Good enough.
Good enough for you.
Come on.
$11. Very nice. Do you get another one?
Yep.
Okay.
Ooh, crit fumble.
Ooh. Yeah, that's not good.
Oh, come on!
Fumble.
Fumble. Not good.
He said, look to your left and fumble.
Oh. Okay. So yeah, you are unable to. You definitely did not make that attack.
I've got one more.
You got one more. You got was that action surge?
She's gonna bite.
Oh, that's right. You got your bite. That will hit. As you literally throw yourself over across the table to grab a hold of his arm and bite into it, doing 9 piercing damage. Very nice. Okay. Good deal. Good deal. All right, Afton, what are you up to?
Well, if it works, don't break it. I'm gonna do Toll the Dead again.
Okay.
Wisdom savings throw 16.
Okay, wisdom savings throw 16. Got a 12 this time.
Still fail. So let's see if this works how it's supposed to work. It's supposed to ask me over here if he has taken damage. Do it. Yes, he is. Submit. Another 11.
Okay, 11 necrotic damage.
Mm-hmm.
All right, very good. Actually, this guy is looking quite bad. And he staggers actually back away from the combat. And you see him sort of taking a look at the door and looking for other ways of escape. And that is actually...
Do I get an attack of opportunity when he steps back?
He only
She has a feat that allows her to take attacks of opportunity against anybody retreating.
Well, I have a sentinel attack. It says when a creature within 5 feet of you makes an attack against a target other than you. Oh, it doesn't say anything about.
Yeah, Sentinel says, or if they withdraw. No? I could have sworn when you read that.
Can use reaction to make a melee.
Is that not what it does?
Hold on, I'm looking it up real quick because she showed it to me and I read it, and I could have sworn. You have master techniques to take advantage of every drop in enemy's guard, including by when you hit a creature with an opportunity attack, the speed becomes 0 for the rest of the turn. Creatures provoke attacks of opportunity even if they take the disengage action before leaving your reach.
Okay, then. Yep. Then that's what that does. Go ahead and make your attack. You literally throw yourself across this table with your sword out, and with a blinding 28. Yeah, that'll hit. And what's
That's a crit.
Holy mackerel.
So
And
she does
So
a lot of damage.
let me just kind of paint the picture. She throws herself across this table in her feral rage, driving this sword through his midsection, tipping over the table as she goes, providing more momentum. And he falls to the floor with her literally on top of him, driving it down into the wooden beams below. You hear people screaming and running for the door as you bare your teeth, your bloody fangs, and Apton just kind of stands up and dusts himself off.
I am going to go over and try to use Spare the Dying.
What?
It will bring him to 0 hit points, which means he'd still be unconscious.
Okay, so you did you crit hit on that last one, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so so give me the full damage and then roll damage again, because I need to find out exactly how dead
He
this
did
guy is.
11 and 2d6 plus 5, so 12, 17. I think 17's max damage.
Okay,
Is that right?
so you're looking at 20. So you're looking at 20.
Yeah, 17.
28 damage.
Okay, so we're looking at 28 damage. Okay, so if we take that from the 5 he had left, so he's at minus 23. I don't really think you're going to be able to do that.
Have the guards arrived yet?
Yes, as you are standing over him and helping Athena stand up, coated in the blood of her foe, you see 5 elvish guards rush through, pushing people aside to get to what is, and not too far behind them is the captain of the guard, and who immediately looks at both of you and is stunned. And
I'm gonna look at him and say, "Take this man into custody," and I'm gonna reach down and touch him and
Okay.
cast Revivify. You touch a creature that has died within the last minute. That creature returns to life with 1 hit point.
Okay. So you actually bring him back to life. And Athena, I need to know how you feel about this. Because this... yeah. That's kind of what I was thinking. I'm going to return us back to...
Actually, disregard that. I forgot I did not buy any diamonds worth 300, so I cannot do that.
Oh, you...
So never mind.
Okay. So you cannot do that.
That's something I was planning on eventually purchasing, so I could do that. Well, not specifically in this case, but I forgot that I have yet to buy 300 gold pieces worth of diamonds.
Okay. That's good.
Unless you happen to know of $300 worth of diamonds I had on me.
I don't think so. I don't think that was something that we would have forgotten or missed. So, yeah, and I'm kind of thinking, I was wondering as you were doing this, I was looking at Athena going, you just, I mean, this would be something that would probably totally fly in the face of what you had just done.
I figure she got her revenge. She got to beat the shit out of him. And now we get to get justice the legal way, which would be sending him to jail, where he might get the death penalty again and die twice.
So Ariel approaches you, flanked by her guards, and says, "What have you? You just arrived, and you're already slaying people in the capital city."
He came after us.
She looks around at others and she says, "Can anyone step forward and proclaim that this is true? What occurred here?" And you see a couple of people kind of sheepishly raise their hands, and one of them says, Captain, it seems as though the young mouse man here used some sort of magic to taunt this giant creature." And you hear some other people go, I heard that too.
All I asked was that he keep his manners, a little bit better.
She kind of looks at you and she's a little surprised, and she says, "I would expect someone of your rank and also bearing, sir, that would have found maybe a better way of going about doing this." She says, "Is there any other explanation that you can give? I would hate to have to arrest both of you this evening."
I point to Athena and say, "Well, he did kill her family a number of years back. So maybe..."
It almost killed me, except I got away because I rolled into a ditch and played dead.
She looks and is like, "Unfortunately, with more proof or more evidence of this, I'm sorry. I just don't know if there's any way that I can just look past this."
I was going to wait till he went to
Diplomatic
sleep.
immunity.
It's a diplomatic immunity. Okay. Unfortunately, here in the Vespe, you all don't have that. And that is also at the discretion of the Queen. So you will probably end up having to go once again to court and stand in judgment. You are actually being sort of read, your rights by this this Elvish captain. And you see her fellow guards come in and actually start to put you in chains. Are you doing anything, or are you...
We don't need the chains. I'll walk.
Well, of course they don't know you well enough, and so you are placed in chains, and you are escorted from the premises.
Hold on. You
Yes.
telling me they got chains that fit my hands?
No, they're just going to actually put you in a box. And
Is it a stone box by any chance? Because I sure as hell will meld into stone and just magic disappearing act. I will not be around.
Well, probably not an actual stone box, but most likely it does have some sort of magical properties that would keep you from doing so. So, you are escorted and carried from this establishment, and once again you are placed on some sort of... probably the best way to put it is another sort of elevator or levitating platform. But this time you actually go into the earth. You're actually going into the root system of this gigantic tree. And you go down and down and down into this darkness that is only lit by this bioluminescent fungus, which allows you some ability to see. And after a certain amount of time, you find yourself at the base of this gigantic living tree, and cut into the rock that is below it are these cells in which you are individually placed. You are not placed together, and you hear the metal scraping against the stone as it is closed behind you.
Now you can melt it into stone.
Yeah, but we're in dirt, so it won't work.
You just said it scraped against stone.
Right. I was thinking I could melt into stone and then pop out the other side. But now I would melt into stone and have dirt around me I couldn't walk through.
Oh, you can crawl. You can dig. You're a mouse.
You're a mouse. So you are sitting in your cells as the elves kind of unceremoniously just leave you there without another word, and you resign yourself to
speak to my lawyer.
An evening. You grab your metal cup and you clink it along the bars, and yeah.
Call my cousin Vinny.
As these elves throw you dirty, accusatory looks. So, so you end up spending the night in an Elvish prison.
Is this like a Swedish prison where it's kind of actually like really fucking nice?
No, it's more like a Turkish prison. No, it's actually a very it's not like you're molested or
I got my vengeance, so I'll sleep good.
Yeah, so you just Athena, you are actually you feel that you have been vindicated in a way. Not maybe be vindicated, but avenged. You have avenged those who were slain by this monster, and you actually do. You sleep well. You find a nice little corner to curl up in, and after a while, Upton, you can actually hear the growl snores of a very pleased and well sleeping Athena in a cell not too far from you. You find yourself also a nice little place to sort of bed down. And you actually see that in the back of yours, somebody had been kind enough to have left a overstuffed hay pillow, which is almost kind of like a mattress to you. And so unfortunately you do not find a blanket, but at least you have something a little bit more softer than just a cold stone floor.
Wouldn't it be funny as shit if you had that, what's that Magnificent Mansion spell? Not the mansion, but the one with the tent.
Yeah, is that...
It'd just be like, cast that in the fucking jail cell, and you're just sitting there eating a feast, fucking hanging out, relaxing, having a good time.
You ended up turning it into a Swedish prison?
Yeah.
You got
I am a sir of the kingdom of Ferriondi. I do not travel in such pitiful cells.
Yeah. It's like you cast a spell and it's just IKEA furniture, and it's just awesome.
Got a TV,
yeah. Internet, the whole 9 yards. Yeah, that's cool. So the next morning you are released from your cells, and once again you find yourself being taken up to the actual court of the queen, and you just have this sinking feeling that something is you just have this feeling. Athena, though, it feels exhilarated. She feels that her ancestors and her family are looking down from on high and are praising her actions. Where you, though, Apton, you just have this strange feeling that the queen is not going to be as lenient or as kind as she was the night before. and you are brought in. You are no longer in chains, and this time, though, there is no other people standing in the throne room. It is the captain of the guard, the queen herself, and you also notice another an elvish gentleman, older appearing, who is wearing very judicial looking robes, and he is sitting off to the side observing you. And the captain of the guard approaches and says, "Your Majesty, High Judge, I bring to you the assailants from last night." She says the charges that have been levied against them is assault with the and murder, and the damage of private property.
We paid for
To
that.
be fair, the only property that was damaged was maybe the table.
And we paid 10 silver for that because we didn't even use the room.
Well, actually, no. Technically, the table never broke.
Oh yeah, it didn't. It just got turned over a few times.
Yeah.
So, but you can fight that if you would like.
Yeah, I'm fighting everything. Fighting my way out this bitch too.
And so the queen is just watching all of these proceedings, and the elderly elven gentleman stands and says, "And what do you have to say in your defense?"
I will bow before the queen and say, I'm assuming we're talking to the queen, or are we talking to the magistrate?
You're talking to the high judge.
Okay. I'll bow before the queen and say, Your Highness, and I will turn towards the high judge and say, I bow myself to this court and before court, and I ask that the queen cast the spell she cast yesterday on us to see if we are telling the truth, and allow ourselves to tell her the truth as without any aggression towards the fighting the save against it.
She rises and says, "You are very, very wise in the ways of how magic works. That is very..."
I put my hands up again and go, I've had a very... damn it. I said it the other day too. Damn it. Starts with a D. What's the word? Damn it.
Damn it. That's the word.
I have traveled far, and yeah, yeah. I have traveled far and read many books and learned many things.
She says, and as you were finishing, she cast the spell. And are you all going to allow it to wash over you, or are you wishing to fight it?
Sure.
I'm letting it.
You're letting it pass through. Okay, and so immediately you are felt and compelled to tell the truth in all things during the spell's duration. And the judge then looks to you, Apton, and says, "Is it not true that you instigated the incident the night before?"
I will say, after hearing of what happened to my companion's family, I may have poked the bear a little bit, but not enough to, I feel, justify as much anger and rage as he had let out.
And so you do admit that you, in your own actions, have instigated this incident.
I agree that I may have poked the bear.
He says yes, and he takes a note down on some parchment that he is holding, And then he looks to you, Athena, and he says, young lady, is it true of what you accuse the deceased of his actions? Are they true as much as you know it?
Absolutely.
And are you sure?
After watching my entire family die and being beaten to near death, that's not a voice you forget.
And so you were basing your feeling upon this, or you're basing the facts that you on just the voice alone? Did you recognize this person?
His look.
This is all right. And so on the night that this occurred, when you were how old at that time?
Forgot how old was I?
We're going to say you were probably young.
I'd say probably
5 or 7.
I'd say
Yeah.
like 10. 'Cause I
And
couldn't
so,
imagine
and so
so
he
old.
so he asked, and what age was this attack upon your people?
I'll say 6.
And you are how old now? As you look around,
17.
is it on your character
Oh, 8.
sheet?
We'll go. No, I don't know.
It might be.
It may be on your character sheet.
Go under description. And then if you scroll down under characteristics, it'll say all. And then
Nope. Didn't put an age. So we'll say 21, so I'm legal to drink.
Okay.
I don't think there's a drinking age in fantasy medieval times.
Yeah, I think you could pretty much get away. You know, if you really kind of looked at it from a, if you looked at it,
17 then.
okay, if you looked at it from a historical standpoint, most of the time, especially here on Earth, water could be like really bad to drink, and that's why they drank beer and they drank wine and things like that. So it would probably be very close to this.
All right, then I'm 17 because I don't think we live very long anyway.
Probably not. So
Wait, what?
someone bid me to hydrate. So hydrate.
I'm out. I ran out.
Oh no. That means your character has to throw itself on its own sword. No. Okay. So he says, so you believe that what you have seen with your eyes and heard with your ears all those many years ago had kept with you all this time?
Have you ever had that much trauma happen to you?
Said, the question is for you, dear lady. Do you feel that
Yes,
you...
I feel that it is the same.
Hmm.
It's the person, I know it is. Trauma does not let you forget things like that.
He says,
I'm gonna.
and said, well, that is very interesting.
I'll ask. May I speak to you?
Of course, you are free to say whatever you wish in your own defense.
Do you honestly believe, you or the Queen, that we as emissaries would come all this way just to start a fight in a bar for no reason other than to do it? Would anybody carrying documents from another kingdom do something as boldly stupid as what we did for the joy of it?
He looks at you with this smile on his face and he says, and did it ever occur to you, sir, that maybe you should call the magistrate to lodge a formal complaint instead of taking the matter into your own hands?
I'm gonna look at Athena and say,
We're fucked.
go ahead and do your thing.
Well, what thing?
Your thing, your shift.
What?
Do it. Shift.
Why?
Do it.
As he beats her with a
What's that gonna prove?
as he pokes her with a stick. Change.
What's that gonna prove?
Do it.
Fine.
I look at him and say, I am a 2-foot, like 15-pound mouse. This was about to go hog wild in that bar and probably do a lot more damage to others over the rage that she was in. I did what I thought was best to prevent casualties and property damage while still being able to, I guess,
Appease the
get
beast.
revenge.
He looks at you and is just so
I'm gonna
surprised
say, not
that you
revenge, but justice.
And he says, and you could have achieved all of these things if you had only thought instead of acted. And so he looks to the queen and he says, Your
Did you
Majesty.
say only fought or only thought?
Thought.
Thought. Okay.
And he looks to the queen and says, Your Majesty, I will adjourn and take into account all of these this testimony from these two individuals, and I shall return within the hour with my decision.
I'll say, and one more thing. If you would like to reach out to Chindle, you can talk to the general who is cousins to the king, and he will, I'm sure, validate our character. For we escorted his children from many kidnappers and danger on our way here.
And he just, he acknowledges your request, and he stands and gathers his notes and makes his way. The emerald, he gets what he gets.
What?
Okay, I'm just reading the chat here, and I'm like, oh God, what now? And so he walks out of the room, and the queen now stands, and she looks at you both and says, I understand that maybe anger had taken you and had propelled you in this direction. I hope sincerely that you are more than willing to accept the consequences of what is delivered by the High Judge. I would hate to have to imprison you further and keep you from your appointed mission.
I say to her, and I apologize for having to put you in such a position as that we have, being such a new ruler and new leader of this area.
She looks at you, and you once again you see that look, that where at first you were a little bit more at ease, now once again you see that cold steel look that you received at the beginning, and you just have this icy chill that runs through you. And she looks over.
I definitely, by the way, said that like humbly, like really saying, I'm sorry we're putting you in this position since you're new to the seat.
Yeah.
Not like, oh, sorry to put you in such a situation being new and all. I wasn't trying to be snarky about it. Just so we're aware of this.
So she just kind of waves dismissively, and Ariel escorts you back out into the hallway. And she says, well, you have an hour to wait, and you have to wait out here. I have guards posted. I hope that they will be able to find a way or see a way to be able to allow you to continue on. I would hate for them to have to send you back to Chindle. But that could be the Queen's decision. It's either that.
Read it.
Yes. So.
I just remember we have a way out of this. Like, if shit goes downhill, we can get the fuck out of here. We got the Iron Stones.
Yeah, but that's in Ironstead. That's not here.
We can go all the way back to Chindle too. No, the Iron Stone isn't. The Iron Stone acts like one, doesn't it? Or do we have to be at a portal?
No, we have to be at a portal. So
You have to
we
be at a portal.
Ironstead
Oh, I thought it was like
to go back to Chin.
you hold it and you can teleport. Oh, damn.
Nope. Unless you can find a
Unless they have
portal
one
here, then you would be pretty. But you're not even sure where that would actually be. So
You think they, if they were
I doubt they're
sending
going to
it-
tell us where it's at right now. So
Right.
I was gonna say, you think if
probably
they
not.
said that we had to go back to Chindle, if they'd show us where their portal is?
where's your
Okay.
teleporter?
Where's your teleporter? All right. Well, let's see. I think this is a great place to leave a cliffhanger because it's 8:21.
Do they have like a bench or something that I
Yes,
could like lay down and take a short rest on so I can?
Yeah, you're actually sitting on a bench. Yeah, you're actually sitting on a bench just outside of the actual the throne room, and you were being watched by 3 guards.
I'm just asking because he made me shift, so I need another short rest to get that back.
Okay. He made you shift. He poked you.
He made me
so-
shift.
Yeah. So, yeah, this is a great place, I think, to leave. So next week we will pick up with the verdict, and we shall see what occurs. I would like to thank you, my wonderful players, for once again coming in and joining the adventure. I hope you had a good time. Did you have a good time?
I got to start shit. Yeah.
You got to
I got
start
my
shit.
vengeance.
Right. Yeah, you did get to start shit, which was fun. Yeah, but so here we are. We are actually getting we've gotten pretty far into it, and we're about ready to start another leg of this adventure. We are getting ever so closer and closer to the Velvet Empire. So that should
Unless
be.
your son says back.
Yeah, unless you were found guilty and sentenced to banishment, which you could be banished, which that could happen.
Yeah, we could cut through.
You could cut through.
Yeah, we'll just cut around. We'll go through the
Yeah,
back.
we'll go through the back way. It's fine. So I would like to thank you, our wonderful people, are in chat who have stuck it around with us this evening. And I see a bunch of names. I see Phoenix System. I see Murder Hobo. Thank you. I saw Mighty Blue Goblin earlier. Thank you, folks, for dropping by and letting us letting us entertain you. And we will pick this up again next week for episode 24. I'd like to once again thank Anna B. Meyer for her beautiful, beautiful maps. And is there? Oh yeah! Make sure to check us out. We do have a Facebook page. You can find all of these wonderful links in our Twitch About section. We have I believe we do have a countdown app on our About section, so you can see when we're going to be coming back. I also do a little bit of streaming sometime during the week. We have been playing some Phasmophobia on Friday nights, the team here, with other people, so make sure to drop by on Friday nights. Maybe we can see about getting into some spooky ghost stuff. Yeah, for those people, I got my K2 meter right here, so if it ever blinks while I'm sitting in my dark basement, I may be screaming for real.
You should have heard Shane the other night.
I cannot wait to see that clip if it's out there. That is awesome.
I sent it to you as a direct message.
Okay, I will take a look at it immediately as soon as I get done. But yeah, we also have in our About section sort of a suggestion box. So if you have suggestions for us, if you have questions for us, please make sure to reach out and say hi. You can either do so by email, which is also down on our stream right here. You can find us on the Facebook. We actually have a Reddit, which is weird. I go on there every once in a while and hope to see things. And of course, you can also email directly. So, do you guys want to say bye, or do you all want to have anything you had to add? Oh, I wanted to add one more thing. Shane has a Twitch stream, and we got to make sure that you all know that he is out there. So please drop by and see him at his page when you get a chance.
And
Yay.
I'm on his page too.
Yes, and Christy is also on his page. They do a lot of different types of gaming. And
Right now, it's mostly Phasmophobia.
We're all doing like all types of crazy. We should do it. Oh, Phoenix says, I would love very much to do a DM chat together with you. I've watched your stream so many times. And the information that you give out is incredible, and I'm very envious of your knowledge. It's just like I learn a lot of things when I actually get a chance to watch you. So it's pretty good. Coming up with ways to torture players. Yes, Ricky, that's exactly what I do. More torture. All right, guys. Well, thank you all again, and
This
thank you.
episode was sponsored by Bear OC Spray. It's better than taunting if you just spray it in the face.
Have a good night, all.